Okay, at this point we have the spindle out of the lock now, so the next step is to get the plug out. Now the plug is going to be the lock assembly back here where, of course, the key goes in. Now this assembly comes out from the back of the knob, but it has spring clips in it that are retained and hold it in tight. So to release those spring clips, we have to use a special tool, which we're going to push down the hole where the spindle was. The tool that we'll be using is your quick-set locksmith tool, and you'll see the one end, it has a fork shape to it. So the idea is that's the end we want to use, and what we want to do is take that and slide it down where the spindle was. Once inserted, it'll go in about 3/4 of an inch or so until it hits the bottom. Okay, once we have the lock tool into the lock, what we want to do is line it up with the stems, the threaded stems, or basically have it in the vertical position. So once lined up, you can see that it's straight up and down with these lock pins. Now to get the lock out, what we've got to do is rock this tool up and down while bringing some slight pressure towards the back. Now since this end's a little sharp, some students find if you put a little rag over the end here, it has less of a chance of digging in your hand, so that might not be a bad idea. Once we're all set, what we do is put a little motion onto it, and you can see that it pops the lock pin. As you can see, once the lock plug is out of the lock, you can see the spring clips that actually were holding it in. And these are the spring clips that fork tool comes over and squeezes them in to pop it off. That's why you need a little bit of pressure forward while you're wiggling up and down. The lock fork tool would actually work its way on these pins, push the springs in, and then it pops the lock out. Once we have the lock plug out, what we can do now is we can use our pinning kit and we can re-key this to the different lock combination. And then once we're done, we can assemble the lock back together, and now we have a doorknob lock that has a different combination than it had originally.